Hello everybody, we are about to finish week 2 of the LMP program. So this is very early in the program, right? We've already seen some spectacular trades from Peter just before the LMP, and we've seen some very nice trades from Luisa, right? So this is her last trade log. That's the trade log 5. And let's just have a look at it. I mean, Lisa had a very good start, right, into LMP. Well, I don't expect you to have that, right? The first 2 or even 3 weeks of LMP is reserved for you to straighten out like your charting and your brokerage, etc. So if you haven't looked actively at the markets, or if you even have not taken a trade, well, that is fine, right? Luisa already had that done before, and but that was not the requirement. Anyway, we've got enough time, right? And let's just have a look at Luisa, how she did. She's a good example. She's as well a good example that there's not really a relationship between being very active in the boot camp and then having a very good start in LMP. It's kind of a different game, right? Well, it's a live trading game here we are playing. We're getting out of the pool into the ocean, because Luisa was not particularly active during the boot camp. As far as I remember, I mean, she participated, but I didn't get a ton of simulated trades from her. So there's actually, I haven't been able to find a correlation between the number of trades taken in boot camp and how much somebody grows, right, as a trader. It's just there's just no correlation there. So it's more about quality and less about quantity, right? As well, Luisa is in a very good mental state for exponential growth. So she is growing in this dynamic learning environment, and I can see it from reading her comments, right? She's in a great mental state, and she's having fun growing and trading. And this is where you want to get at, right? If it happens at the end of LMP or even afterwards, well, that's fine, right? It's not, we are not in a race here, and there's no hurry. So let's have a look here at a couple of her trades. Well, one is still open running. It's this one, right? The Platinum S1. It's on a 1 minute. Well, it has already achieved 5 hours. It's a big arm multiple, so that's a good sign, right? If somebody can actually trade big arm multiples. Some traders just have a blockage, mental blockage, and that big R's just don't come in. So that's not the case here. So that's an S1 Platinum. So it's actually good to fill the whole space of the trade log with your chart, right? Here the chart is a little bit smaller, so it's better to make it bigger. So that's clearly an S1, right? I can see that without having to look hard. That's a very good momentum move, so we can see that too. There's a good test of the 21. And we are in an EMA trend. There might have been a quick crossover. Well, I don't even care to look closely, right? I basically dissociate and I'm looking from a distance, and that's an EMA trend. Well, it's an accelerating EMA trend. The EMAs open up, and that's basically a momentum play, right? So what happens here is, and well, just to make it make sense to it, right? Why did this happen? Why is it accelerating? Well, we have just run over this stop, right, in Platinum, this wick high. It's a stop run level, and now a next stop run level comes up, which is up here. So now the question is the momentum sufficient, right, to get here and to run it over, or will it turn around at any time? Well, this can happen, right, when in a momentum trade. Well, the pattern provides us some fuel, right, to the rocket. We just don't know how far the rocket will go. Well, the idea is to make it break even early on. Well, this has some nice stop run levels. Well, there's clearly a test bar here in the low frame. We even see a test bar in the mid frame. So that should have a nice initial push. I'm not sure where the trade was entered. I think it was here, so it's very early. No, it cannot be, because it has a 5-hour result. So it's always good if you attach for your exit the 4 charts, right? Otherwise it's difficult to find your. It looks like, no, or is it that one here? Well, just attach, right? Just attach all the chart information. Right, this is then gold S1. Well, we had a good run on metals, right, this week. So that's gold 15-second. Well, that was a loss. Let's have a look at that. Okay, yeah. Well, there's a clear momentum move, but there's not a clear pattern. I mean, if you step away from your screen, it's hard to see that this is an S1 pattern, right? It more looks like price goes up and dips. More looks like a pullback. So the best patterns are those that are really obvious to you and to other market actors. Well, apart from that, the rules are fulfilled, right? Let's just see what happens. Yeah, well, no follow through, right? So if the pattern is not obvious, well, there's not much energy stored in the pattern. I mean, we have a test bar, but there's just no energy. I mean, this is white space, right? If there's a big space between two touches, like white space, that's what we call, well, that basically dissipates energy, right? Ideally, well, there's no white space at all. For the futures patterns, that's not that important, but the more white space created, well, the less obvious, right, a pattern actually is. We want to see clear touches. Okay, another gold long on a 1 minute this time. So that's a clear pattern, right? There is some white space, but we have got a good number of touches and we've got some compression. Now the momentum move, it's a bit difficult to see the momentum move. So we go in the mid frame, right? This is the pattern. Well, then this is then we can actually identify this is the momentum move, right? It's a very strong test. So that's another edge. It goes well beyond the 21, right? It even goes to the 50. We have 8 and 21 joining. So these are good signs, right? This is a test bar. I cannot see a test bar here. Well, the second best test bar, well, it's basically this one, right? That's a big bar. All right. I'm not sure how if this was the entry. So there was no entry apparently on the rebreak here of the base. So there was an entry when it came back to that level. Well, I don't re-enter like that. Why? Well, because the stop runs already occurred, right? It has made a new high, and then here's the entry. This is not, well, this is a discretionary entry anyway, because that's a standard entry. Well, you can enter it like that, right, in a pullback. Not in the beginning with some more experience, but you shouldn't have a stop run move taken out already. That puts you in a weaker position, and we want to go for the good patterns, right? Well, this one worked well, despite that. Well, it went sideways for a long time, right? It didn't go off immediately, but that was a big winner. So yeah, well done. It has taken out this stop run level, right? This is what generated the big winner. So that's good. So now we've got another gold on the 1 minute. Well, this time S2. Yeah, I can clearly see the S2, right? Tight stop. We're going to look at S2 next week closer. And when you have a tight stop, well, a bigger winner can be easily achieved, right? So that's another 15-second chart. Okay, I cannot see a test bar, right? And I don't see a lot of pressure being built on the base. I mean, the base can be drawn, right? But if you look from a distance, it looks like it's a pullback, right? A wiki pullback with small pullbacks in between. I don't see this that there's price activity sitting on the base. So that's not a good pattern, right? There's no test bar either. Well, this could be a test bar, the green one, right? But the pattern is not obvious. Looking from a distance, well, you wouldn't even see the horizontal line. So it's a little bit artificially drawn, right? Because you can draw it if you look very close, but not so much from a distance. So it's running over this stop run, and then basically it fails going higher, right? So there's this power, the energy coming out of the pattern. There's just no energy release, right? Well, the test bar, it's an important factor of energy release, but the pattern as well. All right, so overall, well, we have the 3 bigger winners. We've got 2 losses, so that's a win rate of above 50%, right? This is still ongoing, so this might actually develop into a much bigger winner. So overall, minimum 13 hours. Well, that's outstanding, right, for the week. Well, that has basically closely achieved the minimum quarterly hour goal. Well, that's fantastic, right, for beginning of LNP. And I attribute that to her mental state. She's in a great mental state, and she did well in boot camp, but not being very active, right? So well, that's for you. If you think you have not been actively enough, well, it doesn't matter. I see no correlation to that. Jamie, well, hasn't been active in bootcamp either. Right? It's more like yeah, what personality you are. Watch tag has been very active, or he did very well too. So there's just no correlation. So that's it. Thank you.